let's go back 5 months, okay? If 5 months ago I said to you, actually, let's go back 5 months. I say to you, what month is it? Yeah, 5 months will be what? February. I say to you, hey, just want to let you know, they're going to silence Trump and only give him 1 day a week to campaign. It's Wednesdays. Number two, they're going to say Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million, okay? And even though he paid all his debt and everything, they're going to say it's worth only $18 million. Number three, a woman's going to come out saying that Trump raped her, and she goes on Anderson Cooper on CNN, and Anderson Cooper asks, what's rape? And she says, do you think rape is physical? I think rape is a fantasy. And then she says, I am fascinated by you, Anderson. And Anderson says, yeah, we're going to have to go to a break, okay? Then Trump is asked to pay $83 million for that. Then for all the businesses he's done, Trump is asked to pay $430 million and put up 10% bail, whatever the number is, right? Then fast forward, while all this stuff is taking place, he's going to be, guilty, all this stuff. Okay. And then, while he's going through the process Trump is giving a speech. He has an assassination attempt on him. Then, after the assassination attempt, the Secret Service comes out and tells us we're not going to find out for another 60 days of what happened. Then, the director of Secret Service doesn't visit the property at all to see what's going on. Till today, hasn't gone there. Then, a few days later, we're told by Biden that if he's sick, he's going to step down. Previous to that, there's a debate that takes place that Biden, within the first 10 seconds, we all looked at each other saying, this is over with, the debate, right? That's June 27, which is about a month ago, give or take. Then, Biden steps down. Then Kamala Harris is the candidate. Then Director of Secret Service resigns. Do you know how many things have happened just in the last few months? Mm-hmm. And you want me to sit here and believe? Yeah. Kamala's going to be. This is honestly this is so embarrassing. People around the world are watching, saying, "I can see if something like this happens in Venezuela. I can see if something like this happens in Russia. I can see if something like this happens in Iran. I can see if something like this happens in many different countries." To America? Yeah, we're living in a movie right now, guys. We are living in a movie. There's a story that Kelly brought up to me on the number of movies that CIA funded or somehow, some way influenced. Rob, can you pull up the story about number of movies that CIA funded or, influenced, okay? Where they're trying to do what do you call it? Propaganda type of movies, right? Well, here's really what happened, to kind of retell history in their own way. We just watched this movie, Fly Me to the Moon. Ugh. Do you know what the whole story of Fly Me to the Moon is? Rob, go to the movie Fly Me to the Moon. They spent $100 million on this movie called Fly Me to the Moon. It's Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson. They actually did a very good job in the movie. I thought the actors did a good job. Adam, do you know what this movie's about? This movie is about the fact that CIA comes and finds a con woman, which is played by Scarlett Johansson, to stage the moon landing. That if we don't land on the moon, we have to have footage to post that we really did land on the moon because we have to do before Russia. That's what the movie is about. And do you know what they show at the end of the movie? At the end of the movie, the story is that we really did land on the moon, that we didn't need to use the fake footage.
You can't even
Vinny,
make this
Tom,
up.
am I off base with what I'm saying with this movie?
Not at all.
No.
So this movie, first thing I do is I go out there and I say, who funded this? Is this a CIA government funded? Who the hell did this movie? When you watch this movie, it makes you question even more if we landed on the moon or not, right? Mm-hmm. We are living in Twilight. What was that? Twilight Zone, right? We're living in such weird times that for me to say Kamala Harris is going to be their candidate, no, I'm not there yet. Your thought, I want to transition.
I actually want to tell you why I totally understand what you're saying, but also why the movie makes so much sense. Why do I think Kamala Harris is going to be the candidate? Because we're living in the age of DEI, guys. We just spent an hour talking about DEI, so let's go there. DEI versus MEI, which is a new term we've learned. DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Okay. We can make a whole case for why Kamala Harris is getting anointed or there's a coronation for her to become the president. Say what you want about Donald Trump. He spent 40 years in television, media, and real estate and earned one by one, knocking down every single candidate in 2016 to MEI, merit, excellence, and intelligence. I've got the smartest brain, earned his right to be there. So the thing with DEI and the problem is that, you're elevated to a position that you may not be worthy of, or you might not have earned. So it's indicative of Kamala Harris right now. Just look at her track record, bro.
Indicative.
There you go. Number one, she was, she worked for the Willie Brown and
it's a big indication, but you're right. But keep going.
Yeah, please.
So, the whole coronation of Kamala is we're living in DEI. Now, she was working for Willie Brown.
Tell me where you're going, because I'm trying to go to the story, bro. Like, tell me what it is. I got 5 more stories and a flight to catch.
I've already told you.
Tell me.
It's a DEI selection. What don't you get? You're saying she didn't earn it. She didn't earn it. She's being installed as the president. Why? Because we're living in an age that they want to tear down the patriarchy. Is there any more symbolic person of the patriarchy than Donald Trump?
So you think she's
They're basically saying they're giving a woman who was never elected to be the president. She ran for president in 2020. How'd she do in the polls? 1%? She didn't earn this selection. They picked her to be the VP because she was 2 things: a black woman.
So in other words, this is how I'm
Yes.
interpreting what you're saying. And correct me if I'm wrong. So she has your vote.
And that's not what I'm saying at all.
That's what I'm reading from it.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
You're supporting her. You're like, you're excited about her.
You're trying to be funny. I'm trying to tell you that she's a DEI selection, and that I would never vote for Kamala Harris. 100% would not vote for her. After Trump got basically shot in the face as a life, I was like, dude, this guy's got my vote. The fight thing. I think he even earned Mark Zuckerberg's vote that day too. Mark Zuckerberg. But in 2016, she stepped in for Barbara Boxer. 2020, she was chosen by Biden as a VP. And 2024, she's going to be selected by the Democratic Party to be the candidate. She didn't earn any of this. She's been selected. It's a coronation.
Okay, let me go to...
You didn't even think this. You've been thinking that it would be Biden all the way. They're riding with Biden. And because it's official now, I will say that your ego wrote a check that Wounded Warriors is going to cash. So you've got $1,000. $1,000.
I want 100. I want $100.
And by the way, I put 1,000 of my own up there if I had lost the bet. So I had in my mind have that. So I'm giving the 1,000 that I would have given to Adam, and the 1,000 from Adam. Wounded Warriors is getting 2,000.
I agree. Well, everything changed the night of the debate. Nobody saw that coming. They wouldn't even let him go on stage if they saw that coming. So you're acting like you guys all have a crystal ball. The day that Joe Biden
and you do?
Nobody does. Nobody does. But I have at least the humility to say I don't know for sure.
So is there no chance?
Yeah, but we both felt convicted enough to make a bet. What's this? I don't know for sure.
Who the hell places a bet if you don't?
I got it.
Welcome back,
You
Princess.
could have said Kamala's a DI hire and paid your $1,000.
Do you disagree? Do you disagree?
Bro, earlier, have you been listening to the podcast? What did I say earlier about bad ideas and compensation plans and how many times I made bad complaints? Of course it's a DEI hire. I was watching this morning, 6:30, whatever, one of the channels. They brought in the former director of DHS under Obama, a light-skinned African-American man who spoke so eloquently. And he said that he fired the former director of Secret Service. And, he said, well, I didn't really fire. I asked her to resign. Well, I didn't really ask her to fire, Anyways, eventually he asked the question. Ducey's father asked the question. Ducey's father, Peter Ducey. I know the son's name more than I know the father's name, although the father's Steve Ducey asked the question saying, who would you like to see be the VP? He says, actually, can I tell you something? Just because somebody's the candidate as a female doesn't mean the VP can't be a female. Yeah. I'd like to see the
Gretchen
VP.
Whitmer?
I mean, this is just so they're going to double down on DI, and I'd love to see that happen.